I'm not the world's biggest fantasy movie fan. In fact, with the exception of the two Yin Yang Master movies and the Enchanted Phantom, I've never really enjoyed Asian fantasy movies at all. But that didn't stop me from enjoying this. Maybe I don't watch enough fantasy movies to know the good ones from the bad ones, but I know what I enjoy in a movie, and this movie had some of those elements in it. This movie is based on an opera by a famous Italian composer and has a pretty decent cast. Hi, I'm the Artie Dans from Asian Film Fans, and I'm going to tell you why I enjoyed The Curse of Turandot. His Majesty the Khan sends his soldiers to the land of Malvia to initiate talks and develop a friendship. However, his general has other plans, deciding to slaughter all the citizens. Malvia holds a secret treasure, 3 bracelets that, when combined, provide the host with immeasurable power, but inflicting a horrible curse. The Queen of Malvia sends her son with his martial arts master to be saved from slaughter by the general, who finds the bracelets and submits them as gifts for the Khan's daughter, Turandot. She takes a liking to the bracelets, but the curse overcomes her body, and if she doesn't find her romantic suitor who can defeat the curse by the time she turns 18, it will completely consume her body. In comes Blue Eyes, the royal son of Malvia, but suffering amnesia, he doesn't know this until he sees the visions created by the bracelets that unlock his memory to defeat the curse inflicted upon the princess. I kind of made that sound a little bit more complicated than it really is, because I found all of the online synopsises of the movie to be really lacking in storyline elements. Again, not being a fan of fantasy films, I'm not sure if this is a great story by fantasy standards, but I enjoyed it. There's an attempted mixture here of Western and Chinese fantasy elements. It's good enough, but that definitely skews more towards the Chinese vision of what fantasy really is. Thus, this means we get a lot of flying and jumping, a lot of dance-like fighting scenes, but also a lot of strange characters that make very little sense in the general context of the film. Take for example Luo, the younger sister of the main character, Blue Eyes, or Calaf, which is his real name. She's a character that's supposed to be around 12 to 14 years old, but she's played by 27-year-old pop singer Siyi from the Chinese version of AKB48 known as SNH48. There's a scene where she uses her whips to beat down some of the palace guards, men who are twice her size and strength. Yet there's another scene later on where she's rendered helpless by just 2 of the princess's female bodyguards. It's a bit of weird fantasy logic that makes no sense. But I did like most of the performances in this movie, including Siyi. She was terrific. Personally, I thought Dylan Sprouse ripping out fluent Mandarin was kinda interesting. But reading his profile, there's no indication he can actually speak Mandarin, so that was a pleasant surprise. Action movie fans will be curious about the casting of several action movie stars. Taiwanese actor Collin from many great Hong Kong action films takes up the role of Sifu Zhou and shows off some average sword fighting skills. Certainly nothing too impressive considering his back catalogue. Likewise with the casting of Zheng as the Khan. Zheng starred and directed in one of my favourite Chinese action movies, the absolutely insane Let the Bullets Fly. But in this film, he's just relegated as being a passive royal character. He does it well, and has the right voice for royalty, but it's hardly a stretch of his skills. But Hu Jun, on the other hand, as the general, he's typically fantastic. He always seems to play the bad guy in movies. He has the right look, and in parts of this movie, he shows off that he definitely has the right body for the role. So that just leaves us with Xiaotong Guan. I've only ever seen her in a handful of films, such as The Captain, where she plays a nerdy flight enthusiast in a completely unnecessary role, and last year's romantic flop Oversized Love. And while I think she has a cute innocence to her, I'm not convinced she can play a bad character as well as someone like Dong Yuzhao or Zifeng Zhang could have. It sounds like I didn't enjoy the film, but I really did. I enjoyed the special effects the most. Being a fantasy setting means that reality can take a back step, and that shows with the fireworks scenes, where the characters conjure up some impressive looking patterns. These scenes are made even more impressive by the fact that they were done by Australian effects house Rising Sun, who have a very stellar back catalogue of effects production in both Hollywood and Chinese cinema. Go Aussies! But the ending was a bit of a letdown. I'm not too sure what I expected, except I know that I didn't want a happy ending where everyone gets married and lives happily ever after. And while thankfully we don't get that ending, the ending that we do get is a little strange, and not something that I really saw coming. What we have here is a very big budget fantasy romance movie that eschews the traditional romantic plotline for something that's a little unexpected, but with a great cast of Chinese and international actors, including French actress Sophie Marceau and Swiss actor Vincent Perez, colourful eye-popping visuals and great special effects. This is the kind of popcorn fantasy movie that I enjoy. I'm not sure this movie will leave a lasting impression on me, and it definitely won't make my top 10 best or worst lists of this year, but for 2 hours, it was something I really enjoyed. And I have a sneaking suspicion that it will be popping up on Netflix very shortly if you want to watch it as well. But if you have seen this, what did you think of it? Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I'll catch you next time.